video lecture, we will see about differential amplifier. Differential amplifier which amplifies the difference of two input signals. It has some important advantages. That is, it has very high gain. That is, it has infinite gain, and it has a very large bandwidth, and it has a high input impedance and a low output impedance. These are all very important advantages of differential amplifier. Now we see the differential amplifier in detail. Differential amplifier output operation is single-ended and differential operations. Here, figure A shows single-ended operation and figure B shows differential operations. The single-ended means the output is taken from one terminal which is measured with respect to ground terminal, that is fixed potential. Normally, we use the fixed potential as a ground. This is single-ended operation. There is differential operation. The output is taken in between two two nodes. That is, here we are taking x and y. Here the output voltage is taken in between the 2 points. That is two nodes x and y. So different signal is defined as one that is measured between two nodes that have equal and opposite signal expressions around a fixed potential. In the strict sense, the two nodes must have exhibit equal impedance to the potential. The center potential in differential signaling is called common mode level. Shortly, we can say CM level. It is helpful to view the CM level as the bias value of voltages, that is, the value in the absence of signal. Bias voltage means the value in the absence of signal. CM level is used to determine the bias value of the voltage. An important advantages of differential amplifier over a single-ended signal is high immunity to environment noise. This is the differential amplifier single-ended and differential operation. Next, basic differential uh, basic differential pair. Pair means here we are using two common source amplifier stages, that is M1 and M2 are two common source amplifier stages. So that's why we are called differential pair. Okay. In this figure, here two differential inputs V in 1 and V in 2 having certain CM level, that is called V in CM, that is V in CM, that is applied to the gates of the common source stages. The output also differential and swing around the output CM level. The outputs are also the outputs are also differential and swing around the output CM levels. V out, that is we can call V out CM. Such a circuit indeed offers some of the advantages of differential signaling. That is high rejection of supply noise, high output swings, etc. But what happens if V in and V in if V in 1 and V in 2 experience a large common mode disturbance or simply don't have a well defined common mode DC level as the input CM level V in CM changes. So do the bias currents of M1 and M2, thus varying the both transconductance of the device and the output CM level. The variance of transconductance in turn leads to change the small signal gain, while the departure of the output CM level from its ideal value lowers the maximum allowable output strength. For example, it is shown in the figure. If the input CM level is excessively low, the minimum value of Vin and Vin1 and Vin2 may be in fact 10 of the M1 and M2. This leading this this leading a severe clipping at the output. Thus, it is important that bias current of the device has minimal depends upon the input of the CM. This is the basic differential. This is this is the basic differential pair amplifier. Okay, next we see the a small modification in this differential amplifier pair. A small modification can resolve the above issue. Above we discussed this issue. The differential pair implies the current source ISS to make I1 ID1 to make this drain current 1 and uh, ID1 plus ID2 independent of V in CM. Thus, if V in 1 and V in 2 are equal, the bias current of each transistor is equal to ISS divided by 2, and the output common mode level is VDD minus RD ISS divided by 2. It is instructively to study the large signal behavior of the circuit for both differential and common mode input variations. In the large signal study, we neglect the channel length modulation and body effect. Next, we see the common mode uh, response of the differential amplifier. An important attribute of differential amplifier is their ability to suppress the effect of common mode perturbations. In reality, neither the circuit fully symmetric nor does the current source exhibit an infinite output impedance. As a result, a fraction of input CM variations appear at the output. Uh, we first assume that the circuit is symmetric, but the current source has finite output impedance RSS. As in the figures, V in CM changes, so does Vp, thereby increasing the drain currents of M1 and M2 and lowering both Vx and Vy. Owing to symmetry, Vx remains equal to Vy and depicted in figure. The two nodes can be shorted together since M1 and M2 are now in parallel. That is, they share all their respective terminals. The circuit can reduce that to that figure C. Note that the composite device M1 plus M2 has twice the width and the bias current of each of M1 and M2, and therefore twice their transconductance. The common mode gain of the circuit is equal to V naught divided by V in CM, that is minus RD, that is minus RD divided by 2 divided by 1 divided by 2 GM plus RSS. This is the transconductor, that is GM is the transconductance of M1 and M2, and lambda. Okay, this is the common mode response of the differential amplifier. Next, we will see the feedback network of amplifier circuit. Actually, feedback means part of output of the amplifier is taken and returned into uh, and return back to and given as a input to the amplifier is called feedback. Feedback is mainly divided into two types, that is positive feedback and negative feedback. Positive feedbacks are used in oscillators. Positive feedback is used in oscillator circuits, and negative feedback used in amplifier circuit. Because negative feedback is used to reduce the noise in amplifier circuits. So, for that purpose, amplifier negative feedback is used in amplifier circuits. General consideration of feedback. Here, the feedback circuit is shown. That is schematic diagram of the feedback circuit is shown in here. Here, H of S is the amplifier transfer function, and G of S is the feedback network transfer function. The X of S is the input and Y of S is the output. The output is taken and given to the feedback network. The output of the feedback network is given to this adder circuit. Here, the adder circuit subtracts the input signal and the feedback signal and generates the error signal which is given to the amplifier. Uh, Here is the equation for here x of s minus g of s into y of s. That is output of the feedback network. Output of the feedback network is y of s into g of s. This is the output of the feedback network, and the input of the h of s is the subtraction of x of s, that is input signal, and the feedback network output, that is g of s into y of s. This is the uh, error signal given to the amplifier. H of s is um, transfer function of amplifier. Finally, the y of s is the multiplication of h of s and the error signal. Y of s is the output of the feedback network, and H of s is the we can also call as a open loop transfer function. Y of s divided by x of s is the closed loop transfer function. That is H of s divided by 1 plus G of s H of s. And here H of in the circuit, fraction of output signal is sensed and compared to the fraction of output signal is sensed and compared with the input generating an error term. In a well-defined negative feedback system, error is minimized, thereby making the output GFS an accurate copy of the input, and hence the output of the system a faithful replica of the input. So from the figure we can we also say that the input of H of S is a virtual ground because because the signal amplitude at this point is small. Next, um, proper uh, next properties of feedback circuit is already discussed. That is, gain of the feedback amplifiers are very high and large bandwidth. It has a high input impedance and a low output impedance. And it is very important advantage and property. It has very high CMRR value. Next, we'll see the types of feedback amplifiers. Feedback amplifiers, it has four types of feedback amplifiers. That is, this is the first one. Figure A shows the voltage amplifier. Figure B shows the impedance or trans resistance amplifier, and figure C shows trans conductance amplifier, and finally fourth one is current amplifier. Current amplifier. In voltage amplifier, in voltage amplifier, they sense a voltage at the input, they sense a voltage at the input, and they produce a voltage at the output. However, there are other types of amplifier can also constructed such that they sense or produce current. The four configuration has quite different properties. One is circuit sensing a voltage must exhibit a high input impedance, whereas those sensing a current must provide a low input impedance. Second thing, the circuit generating a voltage must exhibit a low output impedance, while those generating a current must provide a high output impedance. Note that the gains of trans impedance or trans resistance and trans conductance amplifier has dimensions of resistance and conductance respectively. This is the types of feedback amplifiers and the simple implementation of four types of amplifiers. This is the example for voltage amplifier. This is the example for trans resistance amplifier. This is the example for trans conductance, and this is the example for current amplifiers. Next, we will see the four types of feedback topology. These are all the four types of topology: voltage feedback, current voltage feedback topology, voltage current feedback topology, and current feedback topology. Let's see one by one. First of all, we see the voltage feedback topology. In this topology, the output voltage, the output voltage V out, output voltage, and it returns the feedback signal as a voltage. The following concepts are shown in the figure. We note that the feedback network is note that the feedback network is connected in parallel with the output and in series with the input port. An ideal feedback network in this case exhibits the infinite input impedance, infinite input impedance and zero output impedance because it sends a voltage and generates a voltage. We can therefore we write that here A naught is the amplifier gain and beta is the feedback network gain, where Vf is the output of the feedback network and V is the error signal, that is difference of V input voltage and feedback voltage. Finally, then V out equal to A naught, that is multiplication of error. V naught is equal to multiplication of gain and this error signal. That is V naught A naught into error signal V in minus beta V naught. Finally, the voltage gain of the closed loop amplifier, that is voltage feedback amplifier, is V naught divided by V in equal to A naught divided by 1 plus beta E naught. We recognize beta A naught is the loop gain. We recognize that beta A naught is the loop gain, and that overall gain has dropped by 1 plus beta A naught. This is the example for voltage feedback amplifier. Next we see the current voltage feedback topology. Yeah. In this feedback circuit, it is desirable or simpler to sense the output current to perform feedback. Here, output sense the output current to perform feedback. The current is actually sensed by placing a resistor placing a resistor in series with the output and use a voltage drop across the resistor as the feedback information. Feedback information. The output, this voltage events serve re- serve serve as the return signal. Serve as the that is feedback signal is directly subtracted from the input. That is the error signal. Uh, the feedback network sends output current and returns as a voltage. It sends output current and returns as a voltage. The feedback factor, that is beta has a dimension of resistance. Here, beta, the feedback factor or feedback gain has the dimension of resistance, so it is denoted by RF. It is important to note that a GM stage must be loaded, terminated, that is finite impedance ZL, to ensure that it can be delivered its output current. If ZL if ZL tends to infinity, then GM GM stage would sustain a finite output voltage. So we can write voltage feed, that is output of the feedback network feedback voltage equal to RF into I naught. That is RF means the feedback factor RF and multiplication of output current. That is the feedback factor. And the error signal is V in minus RF I naught, and the output current, that is GM into V in minus R of I naught. GM is the GM is the transconductance gain of the feedback feed forward amplifier or open loop amplifier, and transconductance amplifier gain. Okay. Finally, transconductance amplifier with feedback gain, that is I out divided by V in equal to GM divided by 1 plus GM into RF. That is where GM is open loop gain or transconductance amplifier gain. Okay, this is the transconductance amplifier with feedback gain. Okay, that is equal to GM divided by 1 plus GM RF. Next, we see the voltage current feedback. In this, voltage is sensed and proportional to current is returned to the summing point of the input. Voltage here, voltage is sensed and uh, and current is returned to the summing point at the input. Okay. Note that the feedback path incorporates the trans impedance amplifier with gain R naught. Gain of the trans resistance or trans impedance is R naught. Here, feedback network uh, feedback network form factor is GM, then current here current is added to the input current. So the feedback current IF equal to GM into V naught, and the error current IE equal to input current minus feedback current. So finally V naught equal to R naught into IE, that is R naught into I in GMF V naught. That is this is that R where R naught is the trans impedance gain of the trans impedance amplifier, where V naught divided by V in is the trans impedance gain with the feedback. This is the trans impedance gain with the feedback is equal to R naught divided by 1 plus GM of GMF R naught, where GMF is the transconductance gain of the feedback network. Okay, next we see the current feedback amplifier. Here, the output current is sensed and returned back to added with the input current. Here, the IF is the output current of the feedback network. Beta is the uh, uh, feedback network gain. A is the current gain of the current amplifier. So overall current amplifier with feedback is AI divided by 1 plus beta into AI. Okay, these are all the four feedback topologies. Next, we see the effect of noise, effect of feedback on noise. Feedback does not improve the noise performance of the circuit. Let's first consider the simple case illustrated in figure A, where the open loop voltage amplifier A is characterized by only an input referred noise voltage, that is Vn, and the feedback network is noiseless. Feedback network is noiseless. So we have Vn minus Vn minus beta V naught Vn that is V in minus because here subtraction V in minus beta V naught plus Vn into An, that is V naught equal to, that is output voltage equal to Bn minus beta into V naught plus Vn into A1 is the output voltage. After rearranging the equation, finally we get the output voltage equal to Vin plus Vn. A1 is the amplifier of the gain, and the beta is the gain of the feedback network. And then V out equal to Vin plus Vn into A1 divided by 1 plus beta An. Uh, in the circuit, we simplified as shown in figure in B. The circuit is simplified in shown in figure B, revealing that the input referred noise of the overall circuit is still equal to Vn. This analysis can be extended to all four feedback topologies to prove that the input referred noise voltage and current remain the same if the network introduces no noise. In practice, the feedback network many, itself contains many resistors and transistors that dictating the overall noise performance. Next, uh, effect of loading. This is the summary of load effects of four amplifiers topologies. This is that is voltage amplifier topologies loading effect uh, diagram. This is the trans impedance loading effect diagram. This is the trans resistance loading effect diagram. This is the uh, current amplifier loading effect diagram. And the result of the study of are summarized here. The analysis is carried out in three steps. Analysis is carried out in three steps. First one, open the loop with proper loading and calculate the open loop gain and the open loop input impedance and output impedance. Second step is determine the feedback ratio. That is determine the feedback ratio beta and hence the loop gain beta a open loop hence the open loop gain beta into AL. And the third one is calculate the closed loop gain and the input and output impedance by scaling the open loop values by a factor of 1 plus beta A, AL, that is AOL, that is open loop gain. Note that in the equation defining beta, the subscript 1 and 2 refers to the input and output ports of the feedback network, respectively. This is the summary of the loading effect. Thank you.